right, welcome everyone. We're going to try this again. We started a little while back and the video stopped, so hopefully we're good to go. And there we go. All right, so welcome everyone. I am Akasha or Nan Akasha. Thank you so much for joining me for our 30-day meditation challenge. So I can tell you meditation was one of the first things I learned when my life fell apart for the first time, way back in the day. And I went looking for, well, if I did everything I was supposed to do and I worked my butt off and I blah, 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 what happened? And meditation was one of the first things that gave me relief from fear and stress, anxiety and pain. It was one of the first things that gave me access to the tangible personal experience that there is another world. There are other worlds. There's a lot of subtle bodies, a lot of subtle worlds out there. There's so much more than what we see, and there's so much more than what we're told our life should be about. So awakening to abundance is really about deep transformation on an energetic, mental, emotional, and physical level so that we can prepare for the holidays and soar through into the new year, because this new year is going to be pretty exceptional. 2019, our entire theme is going to be abundance. Our Bliss Life Retreat, Equinox Retreat, is on awakening the inner seer, the inner part of you, and your crown chakra, so that you can align with your abundance codes, your abundance flow. And we're going to be doing shamanic rituals, and we're going to be going to temples and pyramids and doing healing with dolphins and everything we can to break your old patterns and raise your vibration so that you can not only align with this abundant field of abundance that's always here, that you can align with receiving the abundance that is here for you and feeling worthy of it and receiving it. And then in July, we're going to be going to Arkansas and doing a light body healing crystal retreat again. And we're going to be doing a epic one because it's going to now be about abundance as well. So we're going to use the amplitude and the power of all of those incredible crystals to amplify what we're up to. And between now and March equinox, we have 5 full moons. The one this Friday, we will be together Friday, so we will definitely include that in our abundance meditation. But between them and now, we have 5 full moons that are going to be, including March for the equinox, that are going to be at 0 degrees in their home, in their soul, in their house, as it's called, in their expertise. So it's like coming home and being whole. And that's bringing us back to 0 point. That's going to give us an opportunity to go into 0 point. So start focusing on those energies as we move towards Friday of this week. We are moving into that 0 point thanks to the moon and all the other beautiful energies it usually brings to us. We're going to have 5 of those every single month. So come on and join us at the Bliss Life Retreats, because what we're going to be doing is a group guided abundance activation every month, starting this month, all the way up to the March equinox, and as well as what we do there, which will really break the mold of anything you have left that's holding you back from abundance. That's what to do there. So now today we're going to step into the next level of our abundance laws. So what we're going to do over this month is look at 4 different universal or laws of abundance. And these are hermetic laws. These are laws that exist regardless of whether you believe in them, a little bit like gravity. And can you put yourself in a different space when everything else is doing something? Yes, but that's part of the power of understanding the laws, so that you can then bend them and use them and create your reality on purpose. So we will have these free for you. The replay will be immediate on your Facebook page, and then we will be posting them up as a podcast on iTunes or on our website, so you can redo them as often as you'd like. All right, so let's dive in and let me see here. What's going on? Okay. Next. Huh. Yeah, give me a second. My slides aren't working. There we go. Wow, that's very, 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 very slow. So let's try that again. So the abundance, this is the pyramid of the magician or the seer, it's called. This is a very high power pyramid that we're going to be doing a lot of work at, and the sites around it covered in inscriptions and symbols and carvings, and awakening your inner eye and your crown so that you can become the ruler, so to speak. Take back your queendom, your kingdom of you, of yourself. So many people came in with a fear of authority this lifetime, and that fear of authority is specifically there to force you, right, to entice you, to kick you, to poke you, to tickle you, whatever way it's occurring in your life, to move through that fear, completely remove it from your life and reclaim that energy to be the authority in your life. Now, you may or may not ever want to speak in public or teach or write a book or any of that, but this is different because you have to first claim authority over yourself. You have to claim authority over your mind and over your emotions, over what you're going to think and feel, in order for you to truly harness the abundance that the field is channeling to you. So we're clearing and cleansing all of your different pathways through perhaps your chakras or through your belief system or through what the pathways or the reactions that you're holding in your body. We're working holistically with all levels of who you are to clear your blocks and clogs, and you're becoming Teflon, I call it, to money or abundance or opportunity or whatever that is. And so one of the keys is that we're looking at the law of duality, which means we have to accept that we are both things, and we can't shun part of ourselves while thinking part of ourselves is great, and then accept all things to show up in our life as if we were always believing everything was good about ourselves. When we're not, the energy knows you can't fool the energy. So the authority is taking back the authority in your life, the ability to be your own authority. Remember to go to nanakasha.com and get the 4 ancient abundance activations that we did last month. And go to blissliferetreats.com if you want to come in March. It's a small group, so it's a very intimate group. It's a soul family. 5 people right now are returning from the one we just had. And the transformation is powerful. It's beyond belief. So today's day 2 in our abundance meditation, and we're diving deeper into duality. Welcome, welcome. I'm called the fairy godmother by my clients because I truly, truly not only can see your energy or see when you have money around you or help you find where you're holding yourself back, and use all these different tools because I'm a shaman as well as a hypnotherapist, as well as a doctor of homeopathy, and I've built many, many different businesses. So I have a really bizarre and vast array of experience that I've brought together to create Light Body School, Light Body Healing, and Bliss Life Retreats that give you an opportunity to transform. So what we're going to do is okay, let me check and see what's going on. All right. Okay, thank you. My tech team wanted to check and make sure that I was still online. We were kicked off earlier when we tried this the first time. So today and in all of these activations, we're going to activate the magic wherever you go. This was in Arkansas. Amazing, there's crystals everywhere. So day 2. Remember yesterday, if you were here, we are using this incredible symbol called the Hunab Ku. It's an ancient Mayan symbol, and it is similar to a yin yang, which is interesting because today we're going to talk a little bit about the Tao, which is a text or a book written by the old man master. No one knows who it actually was, and it is full of the most beautiful, simple wisdom. And that's really the truth of abundance, the truth of reality, the truth of manifesting, creating, discovering your purpose of who you are. The truth is simple and yet appears complex. So you could have something as simple as a yin yang that you know is just half black, half white, sometimes with a dot of each. And this takes that another step forward into bringing in the sacred spiral that opens worlds and transforms and where life begins and all of that. We've got the 4 directions. We have rays. We have these temples, these pyramid type step pyramids, which represents getting to the top, to the back to unity. And this is really your palette. You are at the center of all polarity, and you can go into the dark, not meaning bad, and into the light. You can go into grief, and you can go into joy, right? You can go into shame and blame and anger and guilt, and you can go into bliss and happiness and love and reverence. So you've experienced all of those. That's to give you an idea of your ability to create is directly related to your ability to feel and experience, to receive and understand these polarities, the different levels of the scale. So the scale of consciousness or vibrational consciousness moves from shame up to enlightenment and beyond. And what we want to do is make sure that we're above acceptance so we can be in flow and in power versus in force. One of the ways to acknowledge that you are an alchemist of divine energy, to turn it into your life, to turn it into your feelings, to turn it into the world around you, is that you are the creator of your reality. So the way we do that in Light Body School is we make this declaration that carries a lot of vibrational power, and it is I am that I am. And that in and of itself is incredibly powerful, but it goes on, EA, Escher, EA. So those are sacred words of saying again the same thing. I am that I am, EA, Escher, EA. The more we accept ourselves, the more that we can become the authority of our lives. We can become the creator. We can get back in the driver's seat. We can begin to move the focus from abundance, money, love, whatever it is, draining out, and bring it back over to the abundance side. So yesterday we discussed how you live in a time-space continuum, and right now if you are standing in the center of that polarity to one direction, it goes all the way to light, sort of the light at the end of the tunnel, and the other direction it goes all the way to the dark end. And all that means is that if you're standing at lack, what's the other end of that is abundance. It means they're the same thing. Excuse me for a second. So I want you to just take a look, stare into this, enjoy it, experience it for a moment. And you will notice that it becomes alive. It starts to move. It starts to become three-dimensional. You may find yourself drawn to different parts of it. So it's a beautiful symbol to use, to meditate on, to experience. Just trying to move my slides forward. And well, we're having an interesting day. I'm having an interesting day too. And okay. Not sure if that was the next one or. So when we're talking about the law of duality, one of the ways to think about it is a swing, right? You go so far high this way, you go equal and opposite that way. If you've ever tried to get as high as possible, you'll notice, right? You go in equal this way as you do that way. If you've ever had deep grief, I had a daughter die. I can tell you deep grief is pretty friggin' deep. Here's the thing. You can only go deep into grief if you have been high into love. So the more you love, the more you will grieve. But it doesn't mean it's bad. This is where we have to come into sync with understanding our reality. Okay, I have no idea if we're skipping slides or what. I only have like 3 or 4 slides for you. But I can't even escape out of this for some reason. So give me a minute here. Maybe this will work. There we go. Okay, good. So if you are currently or have experienced very deep lows that you feel were a failure or were bad or were so painful that you still perceive them as a negative, I want you to understand what you experience there is filled with treasure, okay? And when you've been as high as completely blissed out holding your baby or whatever is your moment of bliss, it means that doesn't mean you have to plummet to the depths. It means that you've again expanded and increased your capacity for light. Okay? So let's look again. Law of duality, key to manifestation. The law of duality is a major theme in the popular ancient Chinese book, the Tao Te Ching. And it states that the universe and life exist in a constantly fluctuating state of duality. Everything has an opposite, and neither opposite stays dominant forever. Why am I emphasizing this to you? Because we have programs and conditions in our mind and from our families and from our jobs and from wherever that we have to have this or that. And then once we gain it, we should keep it forever. And if it somehow changes or goes away, like a marriage changes, and you move on to something else, somehow you've done it wrong or you're a failure. This isn't true. This is life. Everything has an opposite, and neither opposite stays dominant forever. Now, this doesn't mean you have to be sad or sick or poor. It means you have to master your energy so that when you see things moving in a certain direction, you can choose where you are on the scale. All right? So night has day. Night doesn't last forever. Day comes. The sun isn't out all the time. The moon comes. Winter, summer, all that, right? And the cool thing is where there's darkness. So maybe right now in your life, there's darkness or confusion because you can't see what you really want. Or there's darkness or confusion because you are holding yourself back. You don't think you're good enough. You're hanging on to things you've done wrong that you think are bad or that you're afraid or ashamed of that people might see, whether it's conscious or unconscious.